Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I really have to think about that for a minute. I don't know about this episode. I'm not just saying that it was a bad episode, but there really wasn't a lot that went on in this episode except for towards the end. Let's talk about Sean and Bella for a minute. Well, pretty much they just wound up having the same conversation, the same semi-argument that they've been having for the last past week or two, or I've lost track. Bella is upset with the fact that Sean lied. Sean tries to make excuses, tries to justify his actions, and to be honest, it's one of those things where it's like, what were some of his excuses that he kept coming up with? Oh, I didn't want to sit there and hurt you. I want to sit there and didn't want to traumatize you, and this, that, and the third. Now, one of the things that Bella said that I'm gonna be honest, this is where we come into questionable um questionable things as far as the law goes. Pretty much what Bella said was that, if Sean had told her about what happened, Bella was like, we could have got her to take the morning after pill. And Sean was like, she was never going to consent to that. And pretty much what wound up happening was Bella was like, she didn't need to. Because what Bella did, what Jan Spear did was technically sexually assault. So, they could have got a court order to make her take the morning after pill. Now, I'm sitting there thinking about that, like, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that that's possible, right? Right? I don't think that you can just, force her to take the morning after pill, given the situation. I don't really see how that's possible. Anyway, one of the things that Sean was not there saying afterwards was like, well, I'm not a lawyer, I don't sit there and think like a lawyer. I was like, no, but you are married to one. And if you would have told her that, things could have went completely different. And at this point, Sean's like, well, I can't take back what I did. You're right. You can't. And I don't see this really moving forward, to be honest. I felt like after a while the conversation just kept going in circles and um, nothing really was coming from it. Now Jan Spears calls, and she calls again, and the second time Bella actually picked up his phone and was like, "Yeah, you need to sit there and answer this." Because Bella at this point is like, "Yo, I want nothing to do with Jan Spears. Um, I don't want Jan Spears in my life." Now I look at that whole thing and I'm like, I mean, the only other option is to just let him go. Because, you can't let him go completely. You both share a daughter. But, besides that, y'all don't need to really be sitting there seeing each other, talking to each other, or anything like that. That is dunzo. So she leaves. She goes to EJ. And EJ had a lovely conversation with Gabby. And after getting caught up on everything that Johnny was doing, his shenanigans and everything like that, um, it was like, yeah, that's all cool and great, but so can I have my job back? And Gabby's like, yeah, no, that's that's not on the table. So EJ was like, well, I asked nicely, and then EJ threatened her, pretty much saying that he's going to quote unquote put her in her place, and walks out. Calls Bella, is like, yo, I need your help on taking back the company and things of that nature, but Bella's like, yeah, Gabby's my boss. I can't really kind of go against the grain like that, which is kind of odd because I'm just like, I'm sorry, how are you still keeping your job? You fabricated evidence and sent EJ to jail, and yet you still have your job. Like, what is there a reason why this woman is not in jail at this point? It's like, what is going on? But then I'm just also like, well, technically, Marlena should, Marlena, shouldn't have her job. So there's that. But, she does give him some advice as far as tracking down Johnny to get him to sign the shares back to EJ. This way he could, um, like start some sort of, shareholder meeting or put a blockade. I forgot what she said, but pretty much like that's his best way of getting back the job is to get back the shares from Johnny. After that, Bella tells him about, her day and Sean and Jan Spears and how she's just like, she wants to just be done with it. But, she still loves Sean and, she's upset, she's crying and, she hugs EJ and EJ's just, just there for her. And I really like that scene because EJ, at this point, everyone already knows that EJ's my favorite character. If you don't know, EJ's my favorite character, along with Steve. But EJ has layers to him. We've seen him just be really angry and just, damn near monstrous. Up to the point where he actually threatened his son, scared the hell out of him. But we also seen him be loving and charming and just kind. And that's one of the great things about AJ that I like. He just has so many different layers to him. So I really did enjoy that scene. Him just really comforting her and just being just a good friend to her, just a good person to her. Um, I'm gonna be honest. This scene between Jake and Gabby went absolutely nowhere, and I just don't really understand why this need to even take place in the first place. Why did this even need to happen in the first place? So Jake wakes up from a bad dream. Um, Ava wants to know what's going on, and Jake kind of lies, like, yeah, I don't remember it or whatever, and they just like, they're just friends. Um, because Ava was like, I want to sit there and help you, and then like touched his chest. And that was kind of weird. But, he was like, no, that's cool. I just don't remember. So he goes to Gabby and he tells Gabby about the dream. And at first, Gabby kind of dismisses it, which is kind of odd because, Gabby was not there rethinking about it and thinking about Johnny's behavior and just how it was just off. Even when he told the story about how he, was fighting with the quote unquote devil. And then Gabby walking in and making sure that he's still alive, she just kind of dismissed the whole thing a little bit and just solely focused on their relationship or their lack of relationship because the devil kind of broke them up, the lies broke them up, and her insecurity broke them up. And to be honest, Jake after a while was like, yeah, well, you really can't help me, and it was kind of just a waste of time. And he tells her, oh well, Ava, we're sleeping together, but nothing happened. She stayed on her side, I stayed on mine. And he walks away, and I'm like, what was the point of telling her that? And it was a couple of times he was like, well, not that it's any of your business, but just to let you know, I stayed on my side and she stayed on hers. I'm like, I just thought you said it was none of her business. So like, what are we? Okay. All right. Yeah, exactly what I mean. So Rafe is angry. He's doing paperwork or whatever. Nicole comes in. Nicole is upset because Ava's just free and everything like that. And Rafe was like, yeah, I was upset about that too, but I had to arrest Gwen, and then that whole thing went down. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, I'm just like he was just really tired. He was over it, and he missed out on his date with her because he had to sit there and do paperwork. So they agreed to go to the pub or whatever to get some breakfast. And Nicole takes so long telling him that Eric is back. Ava comes in and Ava's like, I want to sit there and see Gwen. I want to apologize to Gwen. I mean, that's really nice and everything like that, but do you really think that Gwen wants to have anything to do with you? So Nicole leaves. Rafe and Ava kind of go back and forth a little bit. Rafe is all like, oh, if you try to do anything to me and Nicole, I'm going to sit there and arrest you. And, yada, yada, yada. This is after Rafe, I guess, went down to the holding cell or whatever, saw Gwen, and came upstairs and was like, yeah, Gwen want no parts of you. She wants nothing to do with you at all. Um, I mean, for what it's worth, Ava did feel bad. I mean, yeah, she was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, but I didn't feel right. I didn't feel good about doing that. I felt like they had some sort of friendship, even a little bit. Gwen a couple of times, confiding in Ava about, her insecurities and things of that nature. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if they had an actual friendship or, let's be honest, Gwen isn't somebody that pretty much a lot of people don't like. They don't have no friends. So even a person that she was with, as far as Ava's concerned, it's like, yo, I gotta talk to somebody, and we're somewhat okay. So, I mean, like I said, Ava felt a little bit bad for what she did. Um, and then she left, and that was about it. So Eric is back, and this is another one of those somewhat pointless conversations where he was having with Marlena about him feeling guilty that the devil was still at work while he was gone, and he should have came back sooner, and yada yada yada. They talk about Nicole for a little bit, and Marlena wants to make sure that he's okay. Her moving on with Rafe. And he's like, yeah, I want her to be happy. I mean, I'm a priest, but I'm still human. Um, and then Nicole comes in. Marlena leaves. One second. Yeah, so Marlena leaves, and Nicole. It's like they have this really awkward conversation with each other, and they get to a point of talking about Rafe. And Erica's like, listen. At the end of the day, I just want you happy. One of the things that Eric said to Marlena was that yeah, that's gonna be his first love or whatever. But at the end of the day, they're just two different people. It doesn't mean that he wants to sit there and be happy for her and see her happy, even though that they couldn't make it work. And I'm gonna be completely honest. I mean, granted, he is a priest, so I just sit there and say that he's not the type of person that really holds a grudge or when he's towards an ill will towards someone is kind of an understatement. But I just feel like, bro, if I was in that position, if I was in Eric's position, I couldn't do it. I could not sit there and be like, nah, it's cool. I want you to be happy. I want you to be, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I couldn't do it. And it's one of those things, it's like, it's not like Nicole dumped him to be with Rafe. She literally cheated on him with Xander and then lied about it. Lied about it. And honestly, tell you the truth, if Sammy didn't say anything, well, he still wouldn't know. I feel like there's so much with that. It's just like, bro, the fact that you can sit there and be in the same room with this woman is, well, it's a lot. Now, at some point, they hold hands. And I'm sitting there looking at Nicole like, Nicole, what in the hell are you doing? So Rafe comes in there, because, she has to sit there and tell Eric that Rafe is going to be coming. And she doesn't want it to be all awkward and him to be upset or whatever. But they hold hands. I'm sitting there thinking, Nicole, you can't be this stupid. Like, you really can't be this dumb. So when Rafe comes in there, he sees both of them. He's like, really? I also kind of sit there and I look at this, and I was sitting there reading some of the comments, and Nicole, let's just sit there and say, she has a past. And so seeing that, I kind of looked at it, and I was like, this is the woman that you're dealing with. This this is her. What, you gonna be upset? You gonna be upset, Rafe, that she may cheat on you? Because that would suck, right? That would be really hurtful, right? Yeah, think about that the next time you decide you want to start threatening Ava and looking at her side eyed and acting like what she says doesn't matter as far as her calling you out for the lying, cheating bastard that you are. Maybe you should kind of just take some of that in. Oh, I knew it was something else. I was about to sit there and say, all right, well, I think that's about it. No, so Sean gets down to the prison, and Sean gets down to the prison, sees Janet Spears, and Janet Spears is like, I have a condition. It's some long medical name that apparently she can't sit there and say what it is. Whatever it is, it requires a lot of bed rest, a lot of sleep, and she's like, yeah, I can't do that here. You're gonna have to sit there and kind of get released. At this point, Sean is like, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to the doctor because I don't believe a damn word that is coming out of your mouth. So he does that. He does that, and he comes back and he realizes that she's telling the truth. I'm gonna be completely honest about this. The fact that he was like, "Oh, you're lying." It's like, here's the thing: James Spears is a lot of things, and yes, lying is one of them. But given her history, do you honestly think that she will lie about this? Like this, given her history. Um, Now I saw the previews, so Jan Spears is gonna be living with Sean, and Bella is probably gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna get rest of my stuff, and I don't need to see other y'all, and yeah, so that's gonna be something. I gotta be honest, I'm surprised that Marlena is as cordial as she is with Nicole, because not that long ago she was asking him, how is he doing, how is he feeling, and everything like that. And I mean, granted, they didn't really have a long conversation, but the fact of the matter is, like, knowing what she did to your son, then you're just like, okay, all right, yeah, all right, I gotta go, all right, bye. Like, really, really, that's the energy that you're. I mean, Marlena does not seem like the type of person that's like very set off easily. The type of person that will give in to anger and yelling and things of that nature. But anyway, with that being said, I think that's about it. Um, yeah, I think that's how she's gonna do it. So I want to thank you all for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.